as a physician, so everything you've seen, we've talked about 80% of the impact on health is lifestyle. Um, how do we live longer? What advice would you give to general people? What space of ideas result in living longer and higher quality lives?
Right. This is a very simple question to answer. Exercise for at least a half hour, at least 5 times a week. Number one. Number two, don't smoke. Number three, maintain a reasonably healthy body weight. Some people argue that being lower than a BMI of 25 is healthy. I think that may be true, but I think getting above 30 is unhealthy, and that ought to be. Now, that's largely impacted by socioeconomic status, and we don't want to blame the victims here. So we got to understand that when we talk about all of these things, not cigarettes, but exercise and a good diet and maintaining a healthy body weight, we have to include in doing those things the impediments to people of lower socioeconomic status being able to make those changes. We've got to understand that personal responsibility accounts for some of this, but also social circumstances accounts for some of it. And back to your fishbowl analogy, if you're swimming in a fishbowl, if you live in a fish tank that's not being properly maintained, the approach wouldn't be to treat individual sick fish. It would be to fix your fish tank to get the bacteria out of it and whatever bad stuff is in there and make your fish tank healthier. Well, we invest far less than the other wealthy countries do. We're flipped. We have the mirror image in the spending on social determinants of health and medical determinants of health. We have exactly the wrong order. And not only does that choke off social determinants of health, which are very important, but actually just the ratio, even if you were spending, if we raise the social spending and raise our medical spending in proportion, it's the ratio of social spending to medical spending that's the problem. So, and why do we do that? Well, the answer is perfectly obvious, that the way to transfer money from working Americans to investors is through the biomedical model, not through the social health model. And that's the problem and I'd like to discuss this because the market isn't going to get us to a reasonable allocation. All the other wealthy countries that are so much healthier than we are and spending so much less than we are have some form of government intervention in the quality of the health data that's available, in the budgeting of health and social factors. And we don't. We're kind of the Wild West, and we let the market determine those allocations. And it's an awful failure. It's a horrendous failure.